Hello, viewer. Welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host, Anne Morimi, and it's such a pleasure to be having you with us today. I hope that you're keeping well and that you're getting more and more used to staying indoors, staying at home with your family. And, we do have to follow the government directives. And for now, it's stay home. If you're going out, wear a mask. So be home by 7. I'm sure you know the full drill. Anyway, we are here with a gentleman who is going to be joining us shortly. He's going to be joining us via Zoom because today's topic is online solutions while at home. A lot of you are stuck at home and you're wondering, how do I continue working? How can my children continue schooling? What do I do with a full day because, there's no traffic to beat, so that's why we're here, to give you a solution. So I want the gentleman in studio to introduce himself. He's in studio, but he's in studio through an online channel, through Zoom. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is James Karuki, and I'm an IT specialist with experience in corporate and as well as in education sector. So yeah, here we are. We are going to talk about online solution, and we have started it ourselves. Right now, we are using the online solution to come live to you. We're using Zoom. We are working from home right now, so this is one of the things that we're going to talk about. So welcome to the show, and I hope we're going to have an interactive session and a very informative one. So
Thank you so much for joining us, James. I can see you're all bright and so happy because you're an IT specialist. And earlier on, you were telling me that all these solutions were available, but it's like they were undercover. People didn't know about them or didn't used to use them a lot before. But now that we are all at home, it's like things like Zoom, things like Google Classrooms, things like Cloud School, they've all become so important to all of us. So I'm sure that as an IT person, you must be feeling so excited to be able to be exposing people to to your world, really.
Yes, I'm actually very, very excited because you see now in Kenya, we are still a developing country. So we find out most of the time we are used to the old methods of working and so on. So when we came to work, we found out the old methods that were still being used. So we just adapted to them. And in Kenya right now, we have a challenge because well, maybe most of the people will be exposed to this technology, but we find out that someone cannot be able to access because you see, like now we are on Zoom, we are on video, so this is data. So there's an issue about affordability, but that we're going to talk about later. But what I can say is that these solutions have been there even before. Other developed countries, they have been using the Zoom meetings, the Google, the Hangout, and so on.
Yes.
So right now, in the wake of this pandemic that we have, it's a kind of like an eye opener. Now you see that almost everyone knows about video conference. Maybe people used to hear about it, but they didn't know how it works and so on. But right now, it's kind of an eye opener, and I'm sure after this, because I believe this pandemic will end. After this,
Oh, yes,
I will
it
be
will.
a step ahead in terms of technology. Because the country of Kenya is like a hub in East Africa. So both our economy, we are leading. So after this, we should be a step higher in terms of technology, digital inclusion in our business workplace, in our school, in our day-to-day life, because it makes work easier. Like right now,
And that's true, James. And you know what? Though we were not so maybe switched on about it, we already had, I'm so proud of in Kenya, is that because of M-Pesa, and the fact that M-Pesa had done so much, Lipa na M-Pesa also gotten networked to our banks, things like PesaLink, things like internet banking. Actually, all this was already there and people were using these products, but we are appreciating them now because of course you know that they say that one of the ways that the virus is spreading is through the use of notes, and so one of the things is we're trying to get into a cashless economy, and thankfully in Kenya that is something that we were already miles ahead. You know, everybody, even the local, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in Kenya who does not know about M-Pesa, who is not able to use online money transfer. So that's a plus, a big plus for us.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly, exactly. You see, we have been a step higher because I don't think there was a country before us that had something like M-Pesa. So even the developed countries learned that from us.
Yes.
So we are a step ahead, and what I would like us to major on right now is on now the digital inclusion in our workplaces, in our day-to-day life. Well, like in money transfer, that has been there in M-Pesa, that's kind of an online solution. But now you find in M-Pesa you don't need data. But right now, when you start talking about working from home, video conference, calls, and so on, we have another aspect of data, which is of course to normal Kenya. But right now, I think in terms of our data connection, we're somewhere because just last month,
Yeah.
and we got a certain cable that landed in Mombasa from Djibouti.
Yes, I remember
Uh,
that.
yeah, it's called Day One, Djibouti African Regional Express. And actually, it's a very high speed connection cable. That's 6 terabytes. So that
I
should be
remember
enough. And I think,
I remember reading
yeah,
about it and not paying much attention to it, not knowing that a few
yeah,
weeks later we're going to really need it. And you know, one of the sectors that got affected immediately, we started realizing that we're getting a lot of cases in the country. The first thing that happened is that schools were ordered to shut down. And so,
yeah.
let's talk about education in the education sector. We've seen a lot of solutions being used in the education space, and I don't know. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what is in the what is being currently used, the pros and cons, just to get into the discussion a little bit and look at it per sector.
Okay, now in the education sector, right now, as we all know that actually the schools were the first ones to be shut down.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean learning stops. Learning continues.
Yes.
Well, learning is not being in the physical class and so on.
Yes.
So even as much as our children are at home, learning to also complete. So right now, the most common tool that is being used is Google. Well, most people know Google just going to search things and so on.
Yes.
But actually, in reality, Google offers a lot that you can't even imagine,
Okay.
ranging from business perspective to personal to even now education.
Yes.
Now, like right now, most schools that I know
Yes.
of, they are enrolled up in G Suite. Now, G Suite is a Google product.
Yes.
It's a Google product that is mostly used in education sector and also in the business sector.
Okay.
Now, what happens is that this comes with a lot of tools that can be utilized at course,
Yes.
and that's what most schools are using right now. Even companies, I know of some that use that right now. So basically, what happens is that you sign up with the G Suite
Okay.
from Google.
Okay, do you need
Um,
to, what do you need to have for you to sign up? Let's assume that you're talking to a lay person, and so you need to go pole pole kidogo. A lot of people know Google, a lot of people know Gmail.
yes.
Some people know G Suite, but to be honest, I don't think there are very many people who know G Suite. So if you have a
Yeah.
Gmail account, does it mean you already have G Suite, or you've got to sign on to G Suite?
Okay, okay, G Suite is more corporate. So if you have a personal Gmail, um, you can use G Suite actually, but more of a trial,
Okay,
more of a trial.
Okay.
But if you're on an organization, you just sign up to GC. You just search GC. There's a place where you sign up, you fill in your organization details.
Yes.
So what happens is you sign up GC, you're on an organization. If you have your own domain, you have an email account that reads with your company. So what happens is that Google routes all your email.
Okay.
After they route on your cPanel connection,
Yes.
Google servers. That means first, if you have an email, let's say my company is called James Technology. So maybe I have an employee called, let's say, let me use Daryuki at info at jamestechnology.com. So
Yes.
what happens if you sign up at Juicy,
Yes.
all our emails and so on route on Google Drive. So you just, if you want to sign into that email, you just go to Gmail as you do on your normal Gmail.
Okay.
You sign in with your email. Now the best thing about it is that you get storage. It's actually unlimited storage because now this comes. Let me just say this: this comes with Drive.
Uh-huh.
It comes with Google Docs.
Okay.
It comes with Forms,
Okay.
and it comes with AppScript.
Uh-huh.
So you find out if it's an organization that you normally share a lot of data.
Yes.
It comes in handy because now the Drive gives you a limited storage. You can store a lot of your information, data. Now this enables you to go paperless. So you don't need paper because you have unlimited storage. You can store whatever information you have. You can share it
Yes.
with anyone that you want anytime. You don't need to like have print out and so on. So it actually reduces paperwork.
Yes.
And your data is secure. You know, Google actually has a very secure server. So your data is secure. You can access it anywhere, and that comes in handy now on a time like this when you're working from home, because you can access your files from home. Because you know if it's an organization that use papers and so on, you have
Yes.
to be physically there.
Exactly.
But right now, you're on UC. You can just access your files from the office. Actually, you bring the whole of your office just
You bring you
at
bring
your
it
sitting
home.
room.
Exactly. You bring
Yeah,
it into home.
everything. You can work everything. You can even collaborate. There's something called collaboration in Google.
Okay.
It's a document. Now, instead of you being there physically, you just invite. If it's a document that you're editing, you can use the Google Doc. Now, Google Docs is like Microsoft Office. So
Yes, it's got your
basically,
Word
it has,
document, it's got your Excel sheets, your PowerPoints. Basically, it's like it has already been set up for you. All you need to do is to plug in, you know.
yeah, you just need to plug in, just
Yeah.
go online and access your files. Now, if you use in Google Docs, and let's say you are 20 employees in your organization,
Okay.
so and you want to collaborate working on a file. So instead of being together now on a time like this, it's impossible. Just use the Google Docs. You can collaborate. Now, whatever you do here,
Yes.
your friend, your colleague can see.
Yes.
You can talk to one another. You can edit the same file at the same time. So
Wow.
you find out it's very easy to work via the docs and so on, and it cuts actually a lot of time
Yeah.
and a lot of manual paperwork.
And you know
So
what? I think that makes sense because in the school setup, you tend to have a lot of assignments, a lot of books. That means basically you can be able to download the books, you can download the assignments, you can download the exams, the quizzes, right?
yeah, exactly. And I think I've gone so much into the into the corporate and the corporate side. Let me
Yes.
talk about in the education side.
Okay.
That's what we are supposed to talk about.
Yes.
So on the education sector right now, is where right now I'm supporting, we're using it, we're using the G Suite.
Okay.
So mostly we use the Google Cloud.
Okay.
So Actually, that reminds me of something else that we'll talk about later.
Yes.
Uh, but now Google Class actually it's a virtual classroom.
Uh-huh.
Uh, maybe people have heard about it, but it has more to it than what maybe most of the people have had. It's a
Uh-huh.
virtual classroom where you just admit your student there. You
Yes.
can create different classes. So you admit your student, you can create assignments, you
Mm-hmm.
can create quizzes, you can share information,
Yes.
and students can work on it. You can even set exams,
Wow, really?
assignments, yeah, exams on this class. So the students do it online, they
Mm-hmm.
submit it online,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are a teacher, you have your control panel,
Yeah.
dashboard where you can see whoever has submitted, whoever has not submitted.
Okay.
And the best thing about it is that gives an option where you can have one-on-one talk to a specific student. So maybe
Mm.
you have set a quiz and student X doesn't understand,
Yes.
so they can talk to you directly, so you can have a conversation with them,
Mm-hmm.
which is private between
Yes.
you and the student. You can explain to them. Now, when they finish doing their assignment,
Yes.
they submit back. Now, on your control panel, you can see student X, Y, Z has submitted,
Mm-hmm.
student A hasn't submitted. So, you can easily manage, you can easily monitor,
Yes.
and at the same place, you can mark, you can award the mark, and you can return it. So it's more like the normal paper exam where you do an exam, mark, it return to you, you see what you've got. So this one is now online, it's a mark, and return it to you, so um, you can see uh, you can see the scores that you've got. You
Yes.
can see comments from the teacher
Hold
to
on,
the
I have a
individual.
question for you. Yeah? What about, you're talking more about individualized learning where it's very one-on-one between the teacher and the student. What about group things? Like, for example, can you do something together, the entire class? Are you able to see each other, or is everything that you're doing, for example, can I send an assignment, for example, and then the parent does their assignment for the child? How will I know that it's the child who did it? Of course, that can happen even on a book, but how am I sure that this person that I'm dealing with is the right one?
Okay, now with technology, there are advantages on some of the advantages now. That is one of, if I send an assignment,
Uh-huh.
a child is at home with their parents, so it's hard for me to know whether this is the parent who is
Okay.
students. But actually, what we do, we normally teach ethics and so on about online usage. So at the end of it, now, if it's like they're young students, they are so excited about using technology. So at first, we normally teach them about the ethics and so on, so they can know this is what I'm supposed to do. It's
Okay.
online, the teacher doesn't see me, but this
Yes.
is what I'm supposed to do. This is not what I'm not supposed to do.
Okay.
So yeah, that's entirely lies in the ethics of internet usage. But back to your question,
Yes.
if there is a group assignment or a group interaction, yes. So what happens in a Google Class, when you log in as a student or as a teacher, the
Yes.
first thing you see is called screen. A screen. So a
Okay.
screen is like how can I tell it? Like a boardroom,
Okay.
exactly like a boardroom. Everyone is there,
Yes.
students, the teachers. So at that point, everyone in that class can talk to anyone. If
Ah.
you post something on screen, everyone can see, everyone can respond to it, they can talk to each other, they can have group discussion. So it's more of an interactive place. So
So it
there
has
is
a
that
video. It has a
interaction.
video component, like where you can see each other.
Okay, now when it comes to video, that's something else. But
Okay.
now in the classroom setup, now uh, the boardroom or the screen is more of like a chat,
Okay, okay. Like a group
not
chat.
video, like a group chat. So
Okay.
students can talk to each other, but the teacher is the one who moderates. You know, the students sometimes can like talk,
I know.
right?
Even in a
So,
normal classroom,
yeah,
it happens. You have the people who are talkative, the people who are not talkative. So it's a virtual classroom. So actually, it mirrors the actual classroom. So anything that can happen in the normal classroom can happen in the virtual classroom. Although with the exception of seeing each other, you see that it lacks a video component.
yeah, there's no video component, but there is an integrated video component to it, which
Okay.
is kind of outside of it. So Google actually had that in mind about control of class. So the teacher, as a teacher, you have right to control the class
Okay.
because you can see everyone what everyone does. You
Yes.
can either choose to hide some comments, to remove some people from that conversation.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so there's that point of control. So it's not just like a rowdy mob and so on that anyone
Okay.
can do everything.
Yes.
So yeah, it's control. So Google had that measure put in place.
Okay, so
So
I just
now
want to
that
tell my viewer, go to Google, type Google Classrooms, look for G Suite, and try and figure it out. That is if your school is one of the schools that is not currently on Google Classrooms. But I think a lot of schools have now upgraded and they have that as one of the things that they're offering. What about maybe you can wrap up on Google Classrooms and we see about any other online solution that can also work for class type of arrangements.
okay, maybe I could say this, to schools maybe that don't have Google Classroom and so on, because Google Classroom you can sign up even
Yes.
if you are on your personal Gmail account. Right now,
Ah,
on your
okay.
Gmail you can open Google Class. But what happens in Google Class, it's only people on the same domain that can join the class. So if you're
Ah,
using
okay.
james@gmail.com, so anyone with at gmail.com can
Yes.
join.
Okay.
But if it's at school.com, so it's only the people in the school can join that. That's a measure to limit
To limit
yeah,
the number of people who can
distance.
access.
Yeah, and something I'll have to say here, for schools,
Yes.
this is free.
This is?
It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Wow. Oh my, that
Yes,
is
it is
awesome. Thank you,
free.
Google.
Yeah, so we have certified our partners, Google partners around
Uh-huh.
in Kenya. So if you need as a school to sign up for GC,
Yes.
where you get all the teachers are saying, you get your emails, your domain related through Google servers,
Okay.
it's free. So you won't be paying any monthly charge. It's
Wow.
free for educational institutions.
Okay.
For the school out there that you don't have Google Plus, you don't have G Suite, please sign up. You can
Yes.
check on partners of Google in Kenya,
Okay.
or if you could contact us, we could just give you the contact where you can get hosted. So it's free for
Okay.
school, so you don't have a hassle. Don't worry about anything. Just
Yes.
sign up, and then you have access to all those tools.
Okay. But then, okay, another thing that we need to talk about is that when all these things that we're talking about, of course, you've got to have gadgets. So my question is, not every child has a laptop or an iPad. Is it friendly to use? Must you have a laptop or you can use a phone, a smartphone? Because smartphones are more in the country than, laptops. And we're talking about every Kenyan.
I get it. So, what Google did, they optimized, especially with Google Plus, they optimized it so that it can be accessible to anyone,
Okay.
even with the least specs. So, we have an app, Google Plus app, it's in Play Store, it's in App Store. If you
Okay.
don't have a laptop, you don't need to worry. You can use it with the app on your phone. You
Okay.
can use it on the browser.
Ah.
So you can access it on actually all devices. Any
Okay.
device that can access the internet can really access it. That's not limited.
Okay, guess what, James? A lot of time has passed, so we do need to take a break. So, my viewer, keep it here. In case you have any questions or comments, please remember that you can interact with us. We are on Facebook. The handle is GBS Kenya. We are also on YouTube. The channel is GBS TV Kenya. We also have an SMS line in case you want to send us a message. The number is 21144. If you have any questions or you've been having any struggles as you're trying to maybe homeschool and you want to use an online platform, reach out to us and we'll be able to get in touch with you. And towards the end of the show, James is also going to give his number and he can be able to assist those who need him to assist them. So keep it here. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, viewer. Thank you so much for joining us after the break. Today we're discussing online solutions while we're at home. And yes, you're stuck at home, but believe it or not, you're still able to do a lot of things that you used to do before. So James Kariuki is with us, and we are talking via Zoom, which is going to tell us about one of my viewers is saying, Zoom, Zoom, Zoom everywhere. What is Zoom? Please explain to me how to join and what I can do through it. We're going to get back to you shortly about that. And another thing is shopping. You know, some people are terrified of going to the supermarket. Are there solutions around that? So welcome back, James. Let's start with the first question. There's somebody who is saying, Zoom, Zoom, Zoom everywhere. What is Zoom and how can I get connected? Tell us a little bit about Zoom.
Okay, Zoom has become very popular in the last few weeks, actually, in Kenya.
Yes.
So, in a nutshell, actually, in a simple way that everyone can understand, Zoom is a video tool, is a video communication tool.
Okay.
Just like what right now people know most, like WhatsApp, where you can video call, and what people used to do, or still people used to use, still use. Like
Skype, yes, like Skype, okay.
Yeah, like Skype, huh? But now this is more advanced and it's easy to use, unlike Skype, where Skype you have to install program. Skype normally fails most of the time. So
yes.
Zoom, the product that was developed mostly for businesses.
Okay.
But we find it can be used actually across. You can use it even for personal communication, like now at this time of when we are indoors, you can use it to communicate to your loved ones.
Yes.
That you want to see them.
Yes.
But basically, Zoom is an online platform. You can use Zoom either on the browser, or there's an app that you download. So what happens is that you sign in into Zoom. If you just Google Zoom for our viewers,
yeah,
just Google Zoom, Zoom.us. You'll be able to sign in. You can create an account to sign in.
Yeah.
So after that, it's just as simple as create a meeting or join a meeting. So if someone creates a meeting,
yes,
you on the other hand will join the meeting. So the host of the meeting will just give you an ID and a password.
Okay.
You just enter it on your site, and then there you are. You connect via video. So the best thing about it is that it's easy to use. It's very easy.
Yes.
For anyone who can read, you can read and understand English.
Yeah.
You just read it without any tutorial. So if company, if it's you as an individual, if you just open Zoom, the Zoom website, you just read through, sign in, you just get a meeting. The director, it's us directors that, so it is very easy. What I like about it,
Yes.
and
It's user friendly, basically.
uh,
That's what I'm hearing you saying.
yeah,
That unlike Skype, Zoom is user friendly and it's easy. One of the things that I've found to be very interesting is like churches have also been disrupted, and a lot of them have been having online services like on YouTube and on Facebook. But there are a few churches now that are actually using Zoom for services and for fellowships. And the goodness of that is that it is interactive. I mean, somebody can ask a question, somebody, it's interactive because, you know, YouTube, you're sort of watching and listening. It's only one way. But Zoom, you can, if you're members and you want to find out how people are doing, you just, you know, like mute your microphone and then you can speak, which is, it's good, especially for people who have fellowships every week, you know, because sometimes you're stuck up at home and you want some interaction where you can see somebody, you know. So that's one of the ways I found Zoom to be used by churches. It's actually quite interesting that even our churches now have been forced to go online, you know.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just what just we are saying, it's interactive. You know, like Zoom now has an inbuilt whiteboard. So if you are a group of people, you want to brainstorm,
Yes.
you want to talk about something, you have that whiteboard where you can write things, you can talk, you can discuss. So it's very interactive.
Yes.
That's the best thing about it. And then something else, it's just a free account. You can have up to 100 participants, well, 100 people. So that's amazing. I
It
don't know. I
is.
don't know
It's
which kind of a
amazing, yeah.
meeting. I think having more than 100 people.
And you can imagine
So
if you were to do it physically, if you were to have a meeting for 100 people, let's say in town, number one, you need to have a venue. You need to pay for the venue. It's not going to be free. And then everybody has got to move from where they'll be to the venue, which is a cost in terms of their time, in terms of their fuel, whether they're going to use private means or public means. And you know, so there's a huge saving component in terms of time. It's also good for the environment because, of course, all those cars which will take you there will be polluting the environment. So I think there's a lot of pros for these kind of solutions. And I'm really hoping that going forward, even after the pandemic, do you think that people will continue using these solutions, or do you think we're going to just quickly go back to our old ways?
now, now as Kenyans, what I know is that when you start a country, it's very difficult to drop it.
Yes.
Like right now, you know, we don't greet with the hand. I'm sure even after this pandemic is over, it will be very difficult to go back to that.
Yes.
So
I
what
know,
I know is
shaking
that
hands, eh?
yeah, it is very difficult.
Yeah.
What I know is that this is something that is very interesting. Well, as much as we're using it, maybe work and stuff, it's very interesting now. Now at a personal level, using
Yes.
this technology. So I'm sure after this, because it kind of opened up our eyes. So
Yes.
after this, it will just become part of us. It's just part of us right now. So after the pandemic, this will still go on. And
I think so.
I
I
think
think,
Zoom got a big market now, right now in Kenya.
yeah, and it's interesting you see that like Zoom is free. So unless you want to have very long meetings or you want to have more than 100 people, it is also something that can be used as a solution. Let's talk a little bit about shopping for groceries and shopping for, a lot of restaurants have been closed, but they're doing takeaways. You know, there's Uber Eats. There's what else do people use? There's Jumia. There's so many. There's Glovo. Recently, I saw that Naivas have partnered with Glovo, and if you want to shop for your flour, your sugar, your oil, you can actually just go and shop and pay using your card or using M-Pesa, and then you can have somebody, a boda boda, deliver the goods to your house. That's very interesting. But what about our mama mbogas? Are we saying that we're going to basically run them out of market? Are they able to join into this bandwagon of online solutions?
Okay. Now regarding that, you know, if you're talking about now the local mama mboga, so, you know, we are talking about supermarkets and big grocery stores and so on.
Yes.
So those they can afford to partner with like the delivery company. But
Yes.
now when you talk to about like the mama mboga, the common local person,
Yes.
if we are to go digital, and right now, yes, we are digital, uh, it doesn't leave anyone out. So even that Mama Mboga, I'm sure right now, WhatsApp is there for everyone.
Yeah, and
So
WhatsApp is
that's
online,
the
right?
success. Yeah, it's all over. That has been there. Okay, that we can also, that's the technology we've been having throughout. So there is
Yeah.
WhatsApp. Mama you can just WhatsApp and phone, it's easy. They can
Yeah.
deliver because most of them are just locally around the places
Mm.
that we stay and so on. So they can easily deliver. So I think with technology, it doesn't shut anyone out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some aspects of looking as if maybe a certain group of people are being put aside, but on my view, it doesn't cut anyone out. So those are for things that you want to buy from the store that you can have. But from Mamamboga, you can WhatsApp. They do it for you, they bring it over. So to me, it's all inclusive.
And you know what? I'm thinking also, if let's say, for example, because I really am all about inclusivity. Even if you don't have a smartphone, you have a kabambe phone. If you get the numbers of the people who buy from you, they can call you and you tell them, I want a kilo of onions, a kilo of tomatoes, and then you can even they can package everything for you. You pay via M-Pesa and you pass and collect when it's ready. Or they can now send a local boda boda guy because that way they also feel like they've been included in something that does not involve in something, what's the word, virtual, not with less communication. And I think that a lot of people nowadays, like you're mentioning, have WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You can form groups and you have your clients. When you have new products, you advertise. So I think that even the local artisans, Juakali industry, Mamambogas, we can all be able to be part of this exciting, we're living in interesting times. So there's no point of being left behind.
And something else, now when we talk about online solutions,
Yes.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go online, use your data and go online.
Uh-huh.
Even using your phone, when you call to order something, that's
Yeah.
still online. So it's not limited to just going to the internet. So
Yeah.
maybe that could be what people are thinking about contacting that. Now, online solution, you must have internet and phone. Even
Yes.
calling, everyone has a phone, whether it's a kabang or phone. So that's still an online solution. It's
It
still an
is.
online solution because you can call, you can communicate, and get services offered to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that it's been very exciting talking to you about the online solutions that are available in Kenya. And the good thing about this is that it is happening all over the world. I don't know what are your views about working from home? Is it something is it something that can be you know, can carry on after the pandemic? Because one of the problems we have in Kenya is a lot of traffic, and one of the benefits right now is that there's no traffic because people are home. When people get back, is there a way that maybe companies be able to stagger office hours, have people working from home at least some days of the week, or as an employer, what are your views about that?
Okay, now, myself, what I see is this is an opportunity to learn, and would really like and I would really urge employers to really consider working online because you see, when I work online, I get an opportunity to learn things online and so on. I
Yes.
can even be more productive. Now, apart from the basic or from the essential services that you need someone physically to be there, but if
Yeah.
it's something that you can do online or like over the video, it's actually very recommendable because most developed countries do that. You
Yeah.
find that you're even more productive doing that. So I really urge, as much as we have offices, you have to go to offices, but at times it's good. It's good using technology because this is the era that we live in, era of technology. So it will be good for us because it will include everyone, even the less savvy, tech savvy people
Yes.
will be able to get included and also to learn about it. Now, before we finish, because I
Yes.
know time is gone,
I know.
yeah, I would like to talk about just something about schools.
Yes.
Uh, most people don't know about it. It's called Snaplify.
Snapify.
Snaplify. Snaplify. These
Ah,
are digital
okay.
library.
Okay.
Yeah, digital
Snapify.
library.
Snapify.
Yeah, Snaplify.
What is that
These are
about?
digital. Sorry?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, most people haven't heard about it.
Yes.
It's a digital library where
Ah.
you just sign up at a school. There are books, a lot of actually, practically every book that you'll ever think of in this world, it's there.
Are you
So
serious?
yeah, it's there.
Tell me about the course.
So
Or is it free as usual? Everything you've talked about today is free.
okay, no, that's a paid one.
Okay.
It's a paid one, but there's a free account. There's some free books. You can either sign up for the free books or
Okay.
you, sign up for the paid book. So what happens? You
Yeah.
sign up at the school, and then you add your students to the library. So what
Yes.
happens as a teacher, you just select the book that you want the students to read, or the students on their end, they can just go through the library. If they want to read a certain book, they just request as a teacher, just approve it, and then they get the ebook. They read it,
Okay.
they can return it. So it's very easy now, and it's very productive using that at a time like this.
Wow.
So we find that we have a lot of content for the students, even not only for students, even for us.
For everybody, even right now, when you're at
for
home and you're finding yourself idle, sign up and get reading. It's so good to be able to encourage the reading culture amongst our children and amongst ourselves, you know, even our youth, yeah?
Yes, because it cuts across all books, professional books, from just the lowest, from the lowest category of books for the children,
Yes.
to the most professional books. They're all there. So I just wanted to highlight that. Someone could just go and think about it. It's a very good solution, especially at a time like this.
Exactly. I also wanted us to talk a little bit about management solutions for schools. There's one that I've heard about. It's called Cloud School, and I think on Cloud School, it's possible to bring in the teachers, the parents, the children, and also send assignments, and the children send them back. And basically, I feel like this is a very good program, and that this is a very good opportunity for people in IT like yourselves to be able to, you know, to market your products right now, because people have no other option than to buy them. And when you think about the advantages to employers, there's a lot of cost savings, because if you're going to have some people working from home on certain days, it means that you can get a smaller workspace or work area, which means you pay less rent. You know, if you've got company cars going to pick people and to drop them and they're in traffic for hours, all these are ways that you not only save time, but you save money. And you see a lot of companies have lost a lot of money right this time. So there's going to be ways that they're looking to recover and at least make the year 2020 not just be, you know, a zero. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
now about management systems, there are a lot of management systems out there, but let me just talk about what you have just said, highlighted, the cloud school.
Yes.
I think that's a customized Kenyan system. It's customized, actually it's made in Kenya, and it is customizable to your preference. Mostly it's
What
for
curriculums does it cover? Let's talk about curriculums, because sometimes when you hear about online solutions, people have this tendency of thinking that is for international schools, it's for group of schools. You know, immediately schools were shut down. They wowed us with all their labs, computer labs, and everything. And you know, what about CBC? You know, like, does Cloud School work with CBC curriculum and 844?
Yes, yes. Actually, Cloud School is all inclusive, and just as I said, it's customizable.
Okay.
So, what you do when you sign up for that system, you just highlight, or you just write down your needs, what you want, and as developers, just going to customize it to your liking. But basically, what it offers in a nutshell is original state.
Yeah.
Mostly for schools, it offers management for the school, from finance, HR,
Yes.
management of parents, staff,
Yes.
and then now on the student side, it offers now learning abilities. You can upload assignments also there.
Yeah.
You can interact with the parents. The best thing about it that I like now when it comes to academic is that you see now, right now, maybe back in the time when we used to do exams, we wait for a long time to get to a start and so
Yes.
maybe you have a book where you go and get your results scribbled and so on. But what Cloud School does right now, go paperless. So when
Okay.
the students do their assessment, let's say now they have done their assessment in Google Class, you just transfer the scores to there's a module called academic.
Yes.
Transfer their score, it automatically grades and gives
Oh,
comments.
wow.
So you have comments, you have scores, it has a portion for co-curricular right now because we're in TBC.
Okay.
So co-curricular, you can comment on any co-curricular activity. So at the end of it all, you have all your reports generated. So
Yeah.
anytime a parent needs a report, you just go to the system. You don't need to be at school. You don't need to be in the office. Even at
Yeah.
home right now, you can just generate, send it via email, read it if you want. So it makes work very easier now
Yeah.
because you don't need to do the calculation. You don't need to do the printout. You just send the report to parents and parents can comment back. So it's more of an interactive system. It makes
Yeah.
work easier, and it's a good thing for schools to try it out.
Yeah.
So you just go to Cloud School, if you go to your browser, cloudschool.co.ke, there's an option,
Yeah.
sign up. There you'll see our contacts. You'll be able to read about us, read what it offers. So it's a nice solution right now for school. Now, like right now, if you don't have staff at school, um, management can be able
Yes.
to start.
Yeah.
They can do pre-rolls, the finance, and the best thing about it is open to integrate with other systems. So
Okay.
if right now maybe your finance department is using uh, accounting software like Zero, yeah, so QuickBooks. So you just integrate. You don't need to do migration and so on. Just integrate. So it's very easy. It's a very easy system. It's a straightforward system.
Yeah.
So I really urge you look at it.
Okay.
Just go to the browser. Just search for cloudschool.co.ke. You can contact us. It's a solution that will really help to boost the management of your organization.
Wow, thank you so much, James. It's been such a pleasure having you with us. Uh, yeah, at least during this time when we are all at home, the people who are excited and ready to help us in everything that we are doing are people in IT. They have solutions. They have been having these solutions for a long time, and now it's just about rolling them over to you for you to get used. So even as you're home and maybe you're on leave, take time to see what online solutions can work for you. There's also lots of opportunities for training, lots of opportunities. You heard about Snaplify, where you can get books for yourself and your children. So please, we did hear that there is a partnership between Google. Their balloons are flying all over now. So that means that I think internet is faster. So let's take advantage of what we have and let's be grateful for these things that we have. Because can you imagine if we didn't have these online solutions right now? It would be quite chaotic.
It's very
It would be much harder.
life would be a standstill actually, literally a standstill.
Yes. So even as we are, there's a downside to this. Let's also remember the upside and be grateful for what we have. And I'd like James to give us his contacts because probably there are some of you who are asking if they can talk to him after this. Some of these things, to be honest, you need somebody to take you through step by step, especially if you're in a certain generation. You need to open the phone and be shown where Zoom is, where G Suite is. You know what I mean? So how can my viewers get in touch with you, James?
I just give my number. It's 0714
Okay. Maybe you have a parting shot to also give to the viewers as we wrap up. Your final thoughts on this issue?
Yes, what I'd like to tell my fellow Kenyans is that at this hard time, let's be positive. Everything comes, it's like a weighing scale. So when one goes down, one comes up. So let's be positive, even in this pandemic. I'm sure at the end we shall overcome, but in the meanwhile, our life is not going to stop. So let's embrace what we have. Some are tech, tech phobic, so maybe they fear technology for their privacy and so on. So make sure that you stay safe. Don't open links that you don't recognize because right now spammers are using that and hackers. So stay safe, but be positive about all of this online thing. Life has to continue. So I wish that we take this as a challenge and as a learning opportunity.
All right, thank you so much. You know, that's James Kariuki encouraging us to go onto the internet and look for solutions while we're home. Of course, we have Netflix, which is a TV solution, but that's not the only thing that you can get from the internet. There's entertainment, there's education, there's online shopping, there's libraries. So feel free to experiment and explore, and at the same time keep safe. Remember that, like he said, there are right now people, they are spammers, they are hackers, so be careful about the sites that you're visiting, and set up controls for your children so that they can be able to see age appropriate content. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure to have you with us, and we continue to urge you to keep safe and to stay at home until this is over. It will soon end. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time. Bye.